Every spring, the Bowman brothers trek to Mount Baldy outside Los Angeles, California, to enjoy a favorite family pastime, cliff jumping.
It was a perfect day. It was hot, the sun was shining, there's no clouds. It was just great.
Like most tourists, they normally jump from the 35 and 45-foot waterfalls. But this time, Todd Bowman decides to leap from the highest fall.
Here we go, Todd Bowman going for it all, folks.
A dizzying 75-foot drop.
This is the first time that Todd has jumped from that height, about 75 feet. He was very nervous. His very scared look on his face.
His brother Gene, nicknamed Peanut, survived the same dangerous jump years ago and knows there is no room for error.
The pond is very small. You have to hit it just perfect or you're going to be bouncing off rocks.
You do not know what's at the bottom besides water.
I was scared for him. It's like something you've been taught when you're a kid. You never jump off a cliff.
Todd's good friend tries in vain to talk him out of it.
I said, what? Why are you going to do that? That's pretty steep. You're going to get yourself hurt. And he says, well, my brothers did it, and I have to do this.
While Todd psychs himself up, Gene and family friend Rick Jacobs set up cameras to record the jump.
It was maybe a couple of minutes worth of Todd preparing himself to jump, and everything looked normal.
Everything looks normal above the surface, but they make a grave mistake. No one checks the depth of the water.
Nobody knew that the water was only 6 foot deep.
Here we go, take two, scene one. Todd Bowman going into unknown water.
It could be a fatal mistake.
I gave him a kiss, then he counted down 1, 2, 3, and then he jumped.
7. 1, 2, here we go. 3.
Todd hits the bottom at a bone-crushing 46 miles an hour. At that speed, the water should have been at least 3 times as deep.
He is hurt, folks.
He just floated rather than swam over to the rock that we were all waiting on. It was obvious at that point in time that something was wrong because his legs weren't moving. He was crawling in the water, dog paddling.
I set my camera down, and then I rushed over to see what was the matter with them.
We're looking at the agony of victory here, folks.
Todd's face can't hide his excruciating pain.
I could hear him moaning and groaning, and he was trying to hold on to this rock, and they were trying to hold him up by the rock.
Rick and Peanut there to help.
I felt guilt, I felt horrible. Nobody checked the water.
The pond is normally much deeper, but recent storms have filled the bottom with silt and rocks, making it barely 6 feet deep. And when Todd bottoms out, his knees buckle and ram into his chin, and his spine compresses.
I didn't know the extent of his injuries. I just know that he could not move his legs and walk out of the canyon on his own power.
Yeah, Todd's really hurt.
Todd needs help, and fast.
I asked Todd, are you able to get up and climb out up the cable that we came down on? He replied, no, I cannot walk. Right then and there, we knew it was very serious, and then we yelled up that we needed to call 911.
Todd is in shock. Gene and Rick cover him with a sleeping bag and hope help arrives quickly.
I would have gone down there and been by his side if I could have.
Paramedics finally get there. But one look, and they know they are in way over their heads. They call for air support.
I'm just seeing everybody panicking down there, and I was getting very worried, and I was concerned that He was so injured he couldn't move. And so that's when the helicopter showed up.
But turbulent wind gusts, tight quarters, and high voltage lines make landing the chopper impossible.
I was watching the whole thing going on and watching the helicopters come in and they couldn't get to him.
They have to try a risky basket rescue.
He lowered the first rescuer down, then he lowered a second rescuer down, along with the man basket.
I don't think you'll need to tell him not to do this again.
We had Todd in the man basket in a matter of probably 5 minutes.
It's all strapped in now, folks. Now we'll get to see him airlifting.
But lifting him out won't be easy. If Todd has any kind of spinal injury, one wrong move could paralyze him, or worse.
The basket was moving from side to side because it was so windy. The only thing I was thinking the whole time is get him to the hospital, make sure he's okay, and God help him.
Todd is transported to the closest trauma center. The news is not good.
The doctors examined him, and then they found out that he broke his back. I thought that he would be paralyzed.
Okay, folks, we're on our way to see Todd. Hey, man. How you doing, big guy?
Sleeping.
Don't move, man. Quit moving.
Incredibly, Todd's spinal cord is still intact.
You know how close I am to being paralyzed? Just if I move wrong now, then boom, I'm wheelchair bound the rest of my life.
Doctors insert a rod in his back, and amazingly, he walks out of the hospital just 11 days later. But that gave him plenty of time to replay the accident in his mind.
When I looked down, I figured, oh, I got 20 feet of water. Not. We didn't check it. My fault. I felt the pain as soon as I hit. That's when I realized, like, okay, maybe something's wrong and I better not move. Thought I would shake it off, like a hard hit from football or something like that. But it was harder than that. I couldn't shake it off.
He got it.
He's very lucky to be alive and mobile and having no problems with his back right now.
The gang still goes to Mount Baldy every spring, and believe it or not, they still dive the cliff, even Todd. Only now, they look before they leap.
Once you fall off a horse, you got to get back on. You can't be afraid. So I'm not afraid. It's just I'll check the water before I jump.
I think anybody that wants to do that again is out of their mind.